everybody. It is so nice to have all of you here. I hope all of you can hear me well. Welcome to the FOYA Award Ceremony 2021. My name is Leah Ngwata, and I will be your MC together with Lillian Kibagendi. Lillian, you can show yourself so that the rest of the team can see you. Okay, so we also have two sign language interpreters. One is Susan Wanjiro, and we also have Meg Odwongi. We are so happy to have all of you here. And we are going to start with the word of prayer from one of the parents, that is Catherine Wanjiko. So Catherine, welcome. Pray for us as we begin.
Hi, Leah. I think Catherine has dropped. Maybe we can just pray and then we proceed. So
Okay.
Let's pray. Let's believe and pray. Father, we thank you. We bless you for yet another time that you've allowed us to gather here online. Even as we start this event, we pray that you may lead us in everything that we do. We pray that it may be successful, oh God. And we pray that you may bless us, oh God. And for everyone who will be speaking, oh God, we pray that we speak from you, oh God. And we pray that may this event be successful. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Amon, for taking that up. And so before we start, I would like us to share some ground rules. Please keep your microphone on mute unless you're speaking. This is to help us manage the background noise. Also, if you are speaking, you can maybe avoid activities that could create additional noise. Number two, you may have your camera on during the discussions. And if you're a speaker, please, during your time, you please have your camera on. At the end, we may request all the participants to have their cameras on so that we can get a group photo. So we hope to have you till the end. Then also utilize the reaction buttons to support the speakers, and for any questions, put them in the chat. Raise your hand if you want to contribute during the discussions. It's an open forum for all of us, and we want to have it as interactive as possible. And also, you can write your name and whom you are representing. For instance, I write Leah Ikitabu. Maybe if you're invited as a parent, you can say Leah parent, so that when we are calling on your name, then we don't maybe call your phone if it is the one that is registered. And now I want to invite my fellow MC, Lillian, to introduce herself and also guide us into the next steps. Welcome, Lillian.
Thank you so much, Leah. Welcome everyone to the Family of the Year Award 2021. We are so glad to host this event, and we are glad that you, our partners, both parents and teachers, have joined and are participating in this event. It's such a pleasure to host you, and we're looking forward to an engaging discussion. And in order to talk to us more about what Ikitabu does, and also to talk to us more about FOYA and their personal experiences, I want to invite my colleague, Georgine. She's the director for Studio KSL, and she'll be telling us more about her experience with FOYA, as well as how her personal experience as well with this activity. Welcome, Georgine.
So hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Lillian, for the wonderful introduction. As my colleague Lillian has mentioned, my name is Georgine Auma, and this is my sign name. I'm the director of Studio KSL at Ikitabu, and I'm happy and very excited to be part of this forum, the second FOYA engagement, which is part of our community. We want to recognize the parents and also the caregivers who are the key people and the reason we have joined this, so that we can talk about supporting the learners with disability, and also to encourage them as they learn at home and also at school, as we give the children motivation and encouragement to work hard both at home and also at school.
Sorry. Hey, Susan.
Yes,
can you hold
Will.
for a sec, Georgine? We need Georgine pinned to the screen because you're on screen and Georgine is not. Ammon, can you please fix that now? Sorry to interrupt, Georgine and Susan.
She's already pinned. Maybe the rest can confirm if they can see from their screen.
Yeah, we can't see. We can't see Georgine. We just see the interpreter. Yeah, now
Let
we
me
see
try
you.
and spotlight.
Now we can see Georgine.
Now we can. Yeah, now we can.
Hey, Marie, how are you?
No,
Nice to hear your
fine, and
voice.
you will. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for your help. Okay, sorry, Gina. Sorry, Susan. Thanks, Ammon.
Yep.
Thank you. So I will continue. And do you want me to start again or should just continue? I know maybe some of my colleagues who are deaf may have missed the introduction because they couldn't see me. So as I have just mentioned, my name is Georgine Auma, and this is my sign name, the Director of Studio KSL at eKitabu. And I'm very excited to welcome us to our second FOYA engagement, which is our community. We recognize the parents and the caregivers as very important people in the development of learners with disability as they support their children. And the parents continue to encourage and support the children to gain confidence and also to motivate them to work hard both at school and at home. Children need support from their families and they need to gain the confidence so that they're able to perform better in their academics and also other activities at school. And so I'll be talking briefly about why we started FOYA, which is last year, 2020. So FOYA was founded as a family activity or a parent's activity and with learners in mind. When COVID started, that is in year 2020, most of the schools were closed and that meant that the children were at home. So we recognized that most of the parents were really trying hard to engage the children while they were at home to make sure that they continued to learn. So we realized this as an opportunity for us to build capacity for our parents and especially for parents of children with disabilities. We started FOYA to achieve these main objectives. One, we wanted to have, to break barriers, especially in communication between the parents and children, and also to make sure that children with disability have access to digital learning materials when they are at home. We also want to appreciate the parents for the capacity and their work to support the children while at home during the COVID as they continue to participate in other educational programs, for example, the digital story time and children participating in the DEC, that the digital essay competition. And also to make the parents aware of the digital accessible content that is available for learners, which are learning resources which they can benefit from while they are at home and also while at school, and also to support learners with disabilities to know of the learning opportunities while at home and also while at school. I remember when I became deaf, I was about 9 years old and I stayed home for 1 full year. My parents didn't know what to do with me. And finally, they got me a hearing aid, which was truly not what I needed because it wasn't working for me. But I just went back to school. I know for sure if my family did not support me, then I would not have become what I am or be where I am today. When I was growing up in the village, in a family of 10, we were near a hospital. We were not near a hospital, it was 45 kilometers away. And so we could not access the hospital services. And so it was impossible to get the support that I required. But my parents really tried. So the only idea that they had when I became deaf is that, so it was confirmed by the people's attitude in the village, of course, as a child with disability. So they were insulted, and they were gossiped. People talked about them. People blamed them because I've become disabled. However, if I look back now and how my parents tried to support me, I can imagine a family of 10. My father was working and was trying to provide for education for 10 children who are in school. However, what he did, or what they did, is to make sure that, one, I went back to school when schools opened. So the first person who got the learning materials was me whenever schools opened. That was their efforts that I recognize now that are encouraging me to continue with learning. So they give me the motivation to work hard, both at school and at home. And that's why I am here today. With this kind of acceptance and engagement, and that's while at home, children can truly succeed. I know it is not easy for a parent or parents of children with disability. They need all the support they need to support their child, both at school and at home and in general life. However, if you are doing your best to support your child, I think that's enough. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to engage further with you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina. Let's applaud Gina for the good job and also for sharing her story. That's what we all want to hear from the parents. And so when we look at the CBC, parents are required to play a very key role in supporting their children with disabilities. And also, with and without disability, they must ensure that the child is learning and is well supported both in school and out of school. However, we cannot underestimate the challenges that these parents face when they are trying to support their children, especially those with disability. So let's celebrate this outstanding day and our incredible participants and hear about the challenges these parents face, and also how they are able to support the children both in school and at home. So our first panelist is Agre Wafula, who is a parent to Trotsky Wafula from Kapkoros Primary School Special Unit in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. Welcome, Agre Wafula. I think he could.
Hi,
Yes.
Yeah. Agri is on the call, but is already unmuted and the video is on, but we can't hear Agri. Maybe
Okay,
we can just.
Okay. I can see him here. So maybe as he prepares himself, we can invite Joyce Nduta Ndongo, a parent to Zuri Nora, Akon Special Tutorials in Dagoretti, Nairobi County. So Joyce Nduta, you can take the platform as we wait for Agri to prepare himself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Nduta Ndongo, and I am a mother to a beautiful age 5 called Zuri Nora. She goes to school at Akon Special Tutorials. She started going to school at 2.5. So, yeah. And I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, Nduta, for joining. Now, we wanted you to share with us, what challenges do you face as a person, as a parent, raising a child with a disability? Maybe you can share with us what type of a disability, if you're comfortable with that. And you can also share with us your experiences raising that child with a disability and how that journey has been for you.
Okay. So Zuri was born with a congenital everyone is conversant with the condition, or anyone has heard of Turner syndrome?
Not sure, you can tell us more?
All right, so Turner syndrome it's a genetic condition, and normally it affects the girl child only. This is where a child, normally we have 46 chromosomes, but for a child with Turner syndrome, they have 45 chromosomes. So some of the ways in which the condition manifests itself is, well, the physical features. You have a low ear set, flat nose bed, stunted growth, developmental delays, and there's some heart conditions, congenital heart conditions. We have ear infections and also issues with fertility. So children with Turner syndrome, we have those who have severe presentation, and there are those who are not so severe. And Zuri, the ones which are not so severe are called mosaic Turner syndrome, and that is where Zuri falls. So some of the challenges that we had, she had a congenital heart condition. She had an ASD and a VSD. So we did an open heart surgery, and then we've been struggling with weight. Right now she's 5 years old, but we are at 10 kgs. Her speech has not fully developed. So she can only communicate using sign language. These are some of the things that the school gets to teach them. And also, she started walking while she was 3.5. So as you can see, her development has delayed, but we are getting there, you know. So when she started going to school, we were at 2.5 years old, and Zuri was not working at the time. Well, I thank God, because it was one of the parents who I work with that advised that we take her for playgroup, and I think that was God's plan, because it's after the playgroup. I think it was just a month after we went to playgroup that she started walking on her own. You know, because initially she would just walk while holding herself using objects. But now, after 1 month into the playgroup, she was able to walk on her own. The other thing that we have been struggling with is her palms. Her palms cannot stretch as my palms can or your palms can. So her fingers are a bit folded. And so we've been having challenges in holding the spoons, feeding herself. We've had challenges in grasping things, you know, pens, books. She's not able to dress up on her own, you know, because her hands mostly, they're not that active. But how I've maneuvered that, I would say, is that I encourage her to use her hands in any way that she's able to. So despite the fact that we have that challenge, I still get her the pens, I still get her the drawing materials, you know, the crayons. I get some plasticine. This was some advice given by an occupational therapist, just to keep the hands active. I get her a lot of reading books. At least she's able to flip through. She's able to flip through the pages when she looks at the photos. Most of them, they are photos. So when she can identify a cat, and she can make the sound of a cat. She can say meow. She can identify a chicken, and she would say cuckoo, you know. Not as pronounced as I'm saying it, but you will see her lips are trying to say cuckoo. So that is how I've been engaging her. We've had some paintings. I try and engage her a lot with the painting. So I have a few brushes in which she's able to play around with the paint and some canvases.
I think she's lost some connectivity. Let us give her just a minute to see if she comes back. And as we continue to hear the good story.
So
yeah.
some of the, especially when she was, just give me 1 minute, please.
She's resolving her connectivity and she will join us shortly. Then we can continue hearing her sweet story about how she supports Zuri in this journey. It is so nice to hear about Turner syndrome and how this super parent has navigated through to support this child, and even to learn about the milestones that this child is making through the support of the parent. So we are waiting to hear more from her. We are going to continue building on these stories, continue learning from each other. At the end, we know that there is a lot that we may have learned out of hearing other people's stories, and maybe we are going to be stronger as we leave this meeting. So Ndutai, when you're ready, please let us know.
Leah, while we're waiting for her to, oh, maybe she's back.
Yes.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Nduta,
Sorry about that.
Nduta, just a question for you.
Yes.
One of the things, I mean, your story is very interesting. Thank you. And I'm intrigued, and I'm sure other colleagues were really, it caught their attention too when you started talking about the play group.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering, in the group, how many children was it?
In the play group, we had about 13 children.
13. And were they
Yes.
children with disabilities as well as children without disabilities, or all children?
They were children without disabilities, and actually Zuri was the only child with not a disability, but she was the only child that able differently. Okay,
sure. So, yeah. And it's, but I mean, it's really interesting that so the dynamics of that group, it sounds like, I mean, how did they receive her?
Now, first they did, the first thing that we had to do, the school had to do, was an assessment, just to get to know. They did an assessment of the child, and they were willing to accommodate her in the school, yeah, despite the fact that she was the only special child among all the other children. So after the assessment, we got to have a work plan, to work on the walking, to work on the speech, and also to work on the fine motor skills.
There must have been, it sounds like this was a structured environment, maybe a nursery school of some kind, or some school setting.
Yes, it still is, but it was a school setting. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, can you tell us anything about the teacher or the teachers who were there supporting? It sounds like there must have been some adults, some grown-ups who had roles. They
were okay. The teachers were good, I would say. They were receptive, I mean, to my daughter and how she was. They're the team that kept encouraging me that, yeah, well, your daughter can do this, and all we need to do is time. We just need to give her time to achieve some of these milestones. Yeah.
Yeah. Quick question there. Were any of those teachers themselves persons with disabilities, or did they have any experience in special needs education, training of that kind?
The assessor, the person who did the assessment, is the person who was in charge of the special needs department in the school. So they have a special needs. It's an integrated sort of school where we have the children without disabilities, and we have children with disabilities. So the department for children with disabilities are the ones that took up the assessment, and they facilitated having one teacher in the school that was able to take care of Zuri.
Cool. So now the picture is it's coming clear. They had some confidence they had a department, they had some experience in, as you say, integrating children into a co-enrollment environment.
Yes.
So that's so how much do you think, Leah, I'll turn it back to you. I could keep asking questions of Nduta, but I'll ask my last question. We were kind of filling in when we lost you for a moment, so then I got my chance to start asking questions, and I'll just ask one more. How much do you think it made a difference that the program was somehow by design inclusive, versus do you think that you would have, that you and Nzuri would have been able to get into that play group and that program if they didn't have that experience and weren't consciously designing for an inclusive classroom?
No, if they did not have that sort of an arrangement, I would definitely have not taken Zuri to that school. Well, initially, when taking her to the school, I was a bit scared and I was a bit worried, and it took a lot of research because I didn't want my child to go to an environment where she will be bullied or an environment where she will not be understood. So definitely, if the school did not accommodate her in based on how she was, I would not have taken her to the school. Then the other challenge was getting a good school, or rather a school where I would be comfortable enough to take her. That was also a challenge coming my way, but I thank God we got to narrow down on one. Did I answer your question? Hello?
Yes, thank you. It looks like our colleague Marie has a question for you too.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm speaking to you from South Africa, and it's an honor to listen to you. You're inspirational. I just wanted to say also, without a mother like yourself, she wouldn't have had half the chances, because you are knowledgeable and you believed in her, and congratulations to you for sticking and also taking the school with you, and holding their hand and helping them, because the point that I think is very important, the school does not have to know everything before the child comes in. They don't have to be an expert on your child's disability, but it's more their attitude, positive attitude, and their willingness to work with you. That is, I think, very critical. Don't you agree?
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. I agree with that. When Zuri was born, I might say, and it was through an emergency CS, and what the doctors did is they told me that my child has some congenital anomalies, which we need to look into. So one, I did not understand what that was. I didn't know what that was. I was thrown aback. I was worried, I was worried for my child. Now, what I did as a proactive mom, I just went to Google. I went to seek for knowledge. First, I didn't know she had Turner syndrome. All I knew, she had congenital anomalies. So I went looking for solutions. I needed to understand what was the issue. And then I looked at the solutions and getting to understand how can we manage, how can we correct, how can we support her based on how she is. So that is what I went looking for. I looked at the positive side of things and I decided to run with that. And that's why I prefer not to look at my daughter as disabled. I prefer to look at her as differently enabled, Yeah. Hello?
Yes, Nduta. We are really excited to hear your story. You're an awesome mom and you're doing great. And I like the way you've answered those questions. And maybe the last one, considering that you did not find all this support that maybe you required at the time. And we are not really so much familiar with the Turner syndrome, and now you have been able to grow over it. What are you doing differently for other parents that could be experiencing the same as you?
So what I've done, or rather, I have formed, well, let me just go back. When Zuri was born, I faced a lot of backlash and a lot of stigmatization from some very close family members and even the society. And there was a lot of blame game and a lot of finger pointing, you know. Everyone came with their own unconventional recommendation of what they thought would work to correct my daughter's condition. And most relationships were broken. And I must say, including my relationship with Zuri's dad, it was broken because of the lack of understanding. So when I sought for knowledge to understand this condition, I thought about, what about the other parents who are facing the same? It doesn't have to be Turner syndrome. It could be you have just delivered a child and your child has a genetic condition or has any sort of disability. How do I make the journey of such a parent easier? And that's why I formed the Turner Syndrome Trust. And some of the things that the Turner Syndrome Trust is working on is to create awareness on this condition in this country and in Africa. Yeah. So I sought out to look for, we work closely with endocrinologists. So I worked closely with Zuri's endocrinologist. She got to refer me to a few other moms who have children with the same condition, and we got to form a support group. Yeah. And the good thing is we've also managed to pull a Turner syndrome lady who is actually in campus and she's studying international relations. And that was quite, it was motivating and inspiring for all of us. She's actually studying at the USIU University here in Kenya. Yeah. So we had our first walk on 13th of this month to create awareness on the condition. We are also working with doctors. We are working with doctors, endocrinologists. We are working with occupational therapists. We are working with ENT doctors, nephrologists, and also nutritionists to support the children that we have in the group. So far, we have 11 children who needs our help. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. We can spend the whole time listening to this powerful story, and we shall be getting back to you to share more and even learn more from you. And allow me to now invite our second panelist, who is Agre Wafula. Agre, welcome and share your story.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. We can hear you well.
Yes. Hello?
Yes,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Agre Wafula from Uasin-Gishu County, Kapkoros Special Unit. I am the father to Trotsky Wafula. He was born normally, but along the way, we discovered that he was suffering from a condition called autistic spectrum disorder. And his major challenge was, or it still is, speech development. He has failed to develop his speech appropriately. Then another major challenge is inability to socialize with others. Having been born normally, we didn't notice the challenge, but he was born in 2015. But when we took him to school, that was in 2019.
Seems like we can't hear you, Wafula. I don't know if you can hear us. You are not muted, but we can't hear your audio.
Ammon, maybe Wafula goes off camera because we're getting some of his video, but not his audio.
Yeah. Wafula, I don't know if you can hear us. Seems like we can't hear Wafula. So maybe we can give him time. He has dropped, maybe, and then to rejoin again to see if he can connect.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Wafula. Please
Can you
proceed.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, then another challenge we experienced as a family was we mourn
So thank you. Agree as you're figuring
Yeah.
out, we
we
are
were
losing you.
of our son or this. Then okay. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Then yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We had stopped getting you when you mentioned your son started school in 2019. So maybe you can pick it from there.
From 2019.
Yes.
Yes, from 2019, because he was not, Trotsky was not coping up in a normal primary school, we decided to take him to a nearby public special unit called Capcoros special unit at Capcoros Primary School. At school, the teachers recommended for EAC assessment, and we took Trotsky to EAC assessment in Eldoret. And after the EAC officials advised us not to take him to a normal primary school. They advised us to take him to a special unit where Trotsky is up to now. So we have been receiving a lot of support from the school, Capcoros Primary School, and encouragement. However, at the home setting, we have been trying as a family to support Trotsky as much as we can. And because of his condition, we give him actually the best. Like to me, he's my best friend. Yeah. Whenever he sees me, he becomes happy, and that is quite encouraging. Then, apart from that, having an autistic child has got its other challenges, like it brings extra demands to the family, like finding an affordable school is a challenge, and also that idea of socialization. The boy at 8 years can't socialize normally with other children. He likes playing alone, solitary play. And this is a big embedment to the family, because whenever we go to church, he can't socialize, he can't fit in the normal Sunday school. Then there's a question of transportation because of his condition. He can't, we have to make special, I can drive him to school, but when I'm not there, I cannot. It becomes a problem, especially his lack of speech element. There is a constant fear that he might get lost. So somebody has to be there to look after him, to take care of him 24/7. Then another challenge. Are you getting me, members?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Another challenge is that fear as a family, because of Trotsky's condition, there's that fear of getting more children. Maybe we can get another child who is, he has a brother who is quite normal. A brother is called Quincy. He's quite normal. And we expect him to begin school next year. Then we have other challenges like special diet, like most autistic children and their condition. The medics advise us not to give them wheat products, which can worsen their conditions. So it means special diet, a diet which is quite expensive. Then at the same school, because I'm too close to the school management, I've been appointed as the parents representative of the special unit. Yes. So we do interact with other parents, and we have a lady there, another parent whose child, because of the disability of the daughter, other members of the public take advantage to engage her in other unprintable activities. So there's that challenge, fear. The child can be exploited, like for a girl, she can be exploited sexually. Then another challenge that we face, like me with an autistic child, is that they are prone to accidents because of inability to communicate well. Their reaction time to situations is a bit delayed, and because of that, they are prone to accidents. Then another challenge we parents face is we have many organizations, many entities that claim to support children with special needs. Now we are torn apart. We don't know which organization is authentic, and this opens our children to maybe they can fall in the wrong hands, like child traffickers, or you've had cases of Saudi Arabia, children being taken to Saudi Arabia. So many organizations claiming to help the children are a problem. Then lack of information about where to take these children. Like for my case, Trotsky is in the lowest level, that is foundation level. My constant worry is placement. Where will I take him after he's done with the special unit? So we need a lot of support, a lot of encouragement to help us place these children with their special needs in at appropriate places. Then we have this issue because of their condition. Some of these children with special needs do not respond well to traditional disciplines, traditional way of disciplines. In other words, they can be antisocial, and this puts them at risk, especially when they join institutions of higher learning. Then we have this unexplained anger and stress that occasionally crops up, because the more you stay with this a child with a disability, you might develop some emotional imbalance. If you are not careful, if you are not counseled, then it is a source of some challenges. Like for me, there was a neighbor who transferred his son from school, where my Trotsky was learning, that in a normal school to another school. And then we were staying in an estate called Kahoya in Eldoret. And one neighbor also moved away because he or she could not fathom being neighbors to a child who has that condition. However, all in all, despite all these challenges, there is hope. There is hope at the end of the tunnel, because having a disabled child also has got its silver lining. We have some good experiences, like it strengthens family unit, family bonding is strengthened. Excuse me, are you getting me?
Yes.
Members, am I loud?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, all is not lost. Like having such a child strengthens family bonding, family unity. Like for our case, Trotsky is our rallying point within the family. We give him all the best. We encourage him, and anybody, any situation that is likely to disadvantage him, we discourage. Then we have also developed greater respect for life.
A quick question as we wrap up the session. Maybe a question that my colleague Leah has asked as well before is, what have you been doing to rally other parents within the same situation? And I think we can take 1 minute to answer as we transition to the next session. So maybe you can answer that on what you're doing to support other parents with learners who have the same condition.
Okay, thank you. That is a good question. At Kapkoros Special Unit, one, we've created a committee of parents with children with special needs within the school, where I am the chairperson. So I articulate, I represent their grievances to the normal school boards, board of management meetings. Then we resolve children. We've created home visits amongst ourselves. Then we have also resolved to shout it out in appropriate forums, like in church service, in a church, and also engage the local provincial administration, the local administration, to be aware of the existence of the special school and purpose to support it, special unit, through our advocacy. The county government of Wasingishu has put up a very nice permanent structure to house or to host this special unit. The structure is in place. We are only lacking maybe the facilities which can be used by all the different categories of children with special needs. Also, it has made us to be more spiritual, deeper understanding of God. We do pray together, and I think we are more close to God because of this challenge and condition.
Thank you.
Other than that, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Aki, for your response. I am grateful for sharing your experience, and I can see that even in the chat, there's a conversation that's currently ongoing. There are parents who are sharing their experiences, and as we even are continuing with the different discussions, we are looking forward to hearing from other parents and their experiences. We also have some who are asking questions on the chat. So if you have the capacity to answer as well, we can keep engaging in the chat. Thank you, Baba Trotsky. Your experience is such an inspiration to us. And I think as we transition to the next session, I want to invite organizations that are actually doing something in order to support learners who have challenges and learners with disabilities who have specific challenges. We have a network of colleagues who we work with who are working with some of these learners and doing a good job to support them. I also want to just quickly make a disclaimer for the parents who want to share their experiences. The chat is open. Kindly keep writing and sharing on the chat as we continue. And then we will have our speakers take 3 minutes so that they can be able to also talk about what their organizations are doing. So we will start with the head teacher from Likoni School for the Blind, Madam Elizabeth Ngare, who has been a colleague and working with us in many things. So we can welcome Madam Elizabeth, and also as we celebrate this important day, we get to understand what work is being done and how can we be able to plug in. Madam Elizabeth, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Unmute. Yeah.
I have good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Welcome.
As you have heard, thank you. As you've heard, my name is Elizabeth. I'm a caregiver. I'm the head of institution. The institution is Likoni School for the Visually Impaired. It is in Mombasa County. And we take care of learners with visual impairment and also with multiple impairment. I wish to really, truly, and deep from my heart, appreciate the two parents who have talked, that is Tana, the Nduta and Wafula. Actually, when they talked, I could see what I go through when I receive them. And we have several challenges that we go through as caregivers of such institutions. And what we all have to understand is that when these parents come to you with these learners, they come for a solution. That is the first and foremost thing that we have to understand. And when they come for this solution, we have to understand that these are parents who have gone through a lot. They have gone through a lot and broken relationships. They've gone through trauma. You know, when a child is traumatized, a parent gets traumatized. When a child is stigmatized, a parent gets stigmatized. When your child is ridiculed in society, you feel the same. So these are parents that we really have to understand when they get to the institution. And some of their characteristics is really understood. Once you understand what they've gone through out there, then you really understand them. One, when they come to us, they expect us to give them hope. So the manner in which you receive these parents should be quite hopeful. When you get this situation, we are not supposed to also get shocked with the parent. No, you're supposed to give the parent assurance that all is well and there's going to be improvement. Regardless of that, a number of parents are impatient. That's what we experience because when a parent brings the child to you, she expects this child to improve because now this is a school. Remember, this child has been with the parent maybe for 3 or 4 years. Sometimes onset is 3 years, sometimes it's 4 years. It depends on the time they brought the child. But because you are an institution, they expect a solution and they give you a lot of time. Just a moment.
Thank you. As Madam Elizabeth is resolving the background noise, she's going to be back in a few. The conversation is very engaging on the chat, and I hope we can continue with that. Madam Elizabeth, karibu tena.
I'm back. Some of my learners have hidden and they're looking for where I am. Sometimes parents expect that now that they've brought these learners. In my situation, it's a boarding school. So the 3 months they give you, when they come back, they expect a lot of change. When change in these learners is gradual. But because of what you understand about their mind, they need psychosocial support. And therefore we have guidance and counseling sessions in the institutions. Ours being a boarding school, we have that. These parents are also protective. It's a challenge. They're so protective one of the parents said, talked about the processes that we go through when we admit. There is assessment and placement. At assessment with a parent, you can agree, but at placement, it becomes an issue because maybe we shall, we are able to assess the child and place the child. Maybe the child is 12 years old and we still feel that this child can be placed in a starter class, maybe PP1 or something of that kind. But the parent feels, no, this child has been playing with others in the village and can manage this. But you see, we are so objective about what we want this child to attain. And therefore, that is another challenge that we face. And in some situations, they're so protective until they even disagree with the condition that the doctor could have analyzed. For example, when you look at with visual impairment, when you look at a learner who has a condition like retinitis pigmentosa, this is where the retina will slowly dim and one day it will be gone because it is progressive. When you tell the parent that this learner needs to be introduced to Braille because once the retina is affected, it progresses. The parent will say, you know, they'll want to try somewhere else. While for Mr. Wafula, divine intervention is bringing them close. Some of these parents take another route of divinity. They go to sorcerers. They want to go to, at the coast, we call them Akinababu. They want to go there so that they are told who could have bewitched this child, who could have made this child blind, who could have made this child be born an albino. And you see, all these are conditions that we just explain to them that they are natural and this is this and that causes this. So acceptance by the parents that a condition is like that is also another challenge that we face in our schools. Nevertheless, we have support systems in the institutions that take care of these conditions. And one of them is, like in my institution, we want to thank Amani Guidance and Counseling Center because all my teachers are trained counselors for differently abled persons and learners. They have given each of us time to train us for a duration of a year, though in sessions when we are on recess. And therefore, we are able to handle these learners and these parents. Now, a parent is a serious stakeholder in our institution because our learners are taught individually. We have IEPs, individualized educational programs, because this child A and child B and child C have different approaches and different methods of teaching. So during recess, when they go back to the parents, is when the struggle begins. And we faced this so much during COVID-19, and we learned a lot. We learned that what we do with the children at school should be made known to to the parents. Any activity we do with them, because most of the parents come to take them on closing day, and then they go home. When they come back, there's normally a minus, even if it's a point something minus. But this time with COVID, my dear friends, it was a big minus. One, all special schools teach these learners things like activities of daily living.
Madam Elizabeth, you're muted.
Their children,
yeah.
Because they are protective of their children, because they want to pamper them. And in such a situation, if a child was undergoing a feeding program and the spoon has reached, say, 8 centimeters, when they went home, when they came back, COVID took the spoon back to the plate. So that because the parents sympathize with their children and they want to feed them. They want to do things for them. Yeah. And at the institution, we are teaching them independence by feeding them and recording, feeding. But because the parent is in a hurry to go wherever or do something else, they feed them, and that is it. Now, how do we support parents in this situation? When the parents came back, we have a face-to-face talk with parents, either individually or as a group when they sit in parents' meetings. But it works better when we talk to a parent individually, when we tell them that these children will one day have a life at their age. The age the parents have now is the age these children will attain one day. So independence to these learners is vital. And you cannot take your cake, give it, take it, and eat it, do whatever it is. So you have to teach these children to be independent. But if you are overprotective around them, they'll still grow up into ladies, mothers, and they'll want that independence. We also help these parents by introducing them to National Council of Persons with Disability, because this is where they will get the card, the registration card, and the government will recognize this learner as a person with disability, and any programs attached to this will reach these learners. I was very keen about Mr. Wafula's case, and he said that they have challenges on knowing the authentic organizations that they would attach. If you attach yourself to a school, schools are introduced, our schools, and maybe if I could say public schools, these organizations are introduced to us by the Ministry of Education. So it is not very easy for an authentic organization to crawl in. But it is good to be wary about that, because some of them want to use these learners to gain money in their homes, and they purport to have some children homes and this and that. So before you attach your child to any of this, can you do deep establishment of these organizations, whether they exist or not? What we faced dreadly is all schools, all of them, teach these learners in adapted curriculums, adapted designs. Now, the big question is whether autism, whether visual impairment, whether hearing impairment, how is the parent exposed to this? We experienced this again during COVID, that these parents, for instance, let me talk about a totally blind learner who needs to stay with the parents for 6 months, and the parent does not know Braille. And this learner wants something explained the way the teacher does. So we thought later that some of these short courses are necessary to be offered to parents who are literate, and Braille can be learned by a parent. A month, 2 months is enough to learn Braille, so that when the learners go home and they need to adapt anything, there were teachings going on. It was quite unfortunate that it took quite some time during that time for learners with special needs to be considered by the government, if I could say. And so it came much later. But if the parents were equipped with the skills to handle these learners, then it would be quite important. Now, how do we help these learners and these parents? We involve them in activities that make them. I also had one parent talk about the introvert the learner is, and this one is quite normal if this child has been stigmatized, ridiculed by friends, and there was nobody that came in. How do you come in? We have activities like music, drama, games, and we interact at sub-county levels. We interact at county levels. But when we go for nationals, we go to our specific disciplines because of facilities, this and that. Otherwise, these learners can be introduced to activities like modeling to bring up their self-esteem. And I'm talking about things that go through the institution that I am. Assessment and placement are two different things. placement is quite a big issue to the parents. They always want the child placed where they are, but we have tried our best to let this parent understand why you want this child to start from a certain point. You know, you have to start from known to unknown. Otherwise, I wish to really appreciate the two parents that I've listened to so far. Nduta, you are a courageous lady. Thumbs up, keep up. We are there. And if we had parents who have courage, parents who have love, parents who have time for their children, and parents who can liaise well with the caregivers. Don't have attitudes. Understand that caregivers have learned to be with these parents, and caregivers also understand you. They understand where you come from. Nduta talked of even a broken relationship. These are what we experience, and Nduta is lucky she's with her child. Some of these children are taken to their grandparents because the lady also wants to move on with another relationship. Now, I as the caregiver, I have to bear all this. So we have a lot of patience, a lot of hope to give, because all we want is to have the potential of this learner raised from whatever level, so that this learner gets something out of this. I really want to thank this program of Family of the Year Award, because it is exposing us to these parents. And parents, talk to us. We shall listen to you. We know where you come from. We know what you've experienced. And we have also been trained to receive you with love, with patience, and with a lot of care. And the world will be a better place for this learner, because what is making us be on this platform right now is one person. Our client is that learner who needs the parents and who needs me. The IEP cannot be complete without the parent. The learning in the institution of a learner with special needs cannot be complete without the parent, because we need continuity, even if it is social continuity, you know, creating courage, hope. The parent should continue the same. But you have to start to give the parent the hope, so that the parent gives the learner the hope. Otherwise, I would talk the whole day if I was given this platform. So
Yes.
I could end up there, and if there are any questions, I would be ready to pick up. Thank you so much for inviting me to this platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Elizabeth, for that very conclusive session. Thank you for even giving us resolutions, because some of our parents here are probably taking notes on the things that you have mentioned. I appreciate the fact that not only are you a teacher, but you also call yourself a caregiver, because most of the parents, when they are handing their children to our institutions, they want somebody who is a caregiver to take care of their children. So thank you very much. We appreciate the collaboration to work with you. And we wanted to also invite the next speaker. Because of time constraints, I will allow us only 2 minutes so that we can be able to proceed to the award ceremony. And so I will invite Mr. Richard Mativu from Sense International to give a brief speech on what the organization is doing. And then from there, we will have follow-up from Lydia Kialo from Kenya Institute for the Blind. So karibu, Mr. Richard. I hope you are ready to take over the next session.
Richard, this is Robert. Richard's interpreter. We have a technical issue. We can do the next speaker and then we back.
Okay, Robert, thank you for that. So we can have Lydia Kialo, if you're ready, you can take over and then we can go back to Richard in a few. Lydia, are you available?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be very brief because I'm out of town and I'm on the road. So if you hear me losing my network, you'll forgive me. Please allow me not to use a video. All right, thank you. Yeah, so I'm Lydia Kialo from Kenya Institute. And at Key I've called to do rehabilitation of the newly blinded learners and the persons who lose sight later in life. We also produce materials in accessible and sent to schools. Budgets that parents and the caregivers face when their children lose sight later in life. And I want you for a moment to imagine you've gotten a child and she or he has lost sight at age 10, 20, 13, whichever age. Because as parents, when we get children, we know that we have plans for them and we pray that they are going to go to school, finish school, get a career, and do the rest. So when a child loses sight, parents are usually in extreme stress and disbelief. So a lot of time is spent when they are looking for ways to establish what could have caused the loss of sight. They go to see doctors. Even some go to seek prayers. And so you find a lot of time is lost during this time. Yet we know in special education, early identification and placement is key for that learner to be supported. So Kenya Institute for the Blind comes in when they have done all the rest and the doctor has certified that this person or this child has lost her sight, and so she can't be helped medically. So in KIB, we do rehabilitation where we want to support the learner to be independent. And so we give them skills in orientation and mobility, where the learner learns how to walk without sight. We also teach them activities of daily living so that they can be self-sufficient in grooming and cleaning their rooms and everything. We also train them in adapted ICT. Yeah, because we know that is finally Braille, that is in English, Kiswahili, Maths, French, and the rest of the So when this child comes to the institute, the first thing we hold a meeting with the parent or the caregiver, where we want to establish how much have accepted the new status to place them in the appropriate first class. Council to accept their new status. Then the others, we may start with the orientation and mobility, where they will start learning. Because remember, I've said that the time the child loses sight, the parents will go looking for medical
Hi, Lydia. We are losing your bit.
It may cost the child like 5 rehabilitation. That is when the parents are accepting. Hello. Thank you. So when they come, we have to train them how to walk independently.
Hey, Lydia, we're losing you. And I think because of time, I think because of time, we can.
So that time we are training them how to walk independently.
Hi, Lydia. I think maybe you can work on the connection issue. We're not getting you clearly. So because
then we want the child 20 years even.
So as we're sorting the issue for connection, I think we can proceed to the next session. And this one is we start awarding our parents. And before we do that, I would like to invite Michael Ngeno, who's been running the program for the last 2 years. And I want him to give us a brief on what has been going on, how the selection process went, and how many participants were there. Karibu sana, Michael. He's a senior programs manager at eKitabu. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Lillian, and I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much, all the invited guests, partners and friends of eKitabu, the parents and the families that are represented here. As we have been talking about the tremendous parents who've been going the extra mile in supporting their learners, both at home and in school. We founded FOYA as eKitabu to recognize and to find ways of supporting these parents. And so we are calling it FOYA, Family of the Year Award. And so this year, it's no exception. We said, let's have parents themselves selecting or registering to participate in this year's process. Unlike last year, where we were asking the schools to select the parents who would take part in FOYA. And so at the end of this exercise, we are going to award some of the parents whom we think are doing great work in supporting the learners in school, either by the activities that they are doing with the school, or the activities that they are doing outside school to support learning, to make sure there is continuity of learning, and also make sure that these learners are self-reliant in the society. We were also looking at the parents who are also working with the community to make not only for themselves, but also to support other parents who are going through similar challenges as they are going through themselves. And so the selection process was one where we started by inviting parents to participate in a survey that we posted in the various groups of networks of schools, through partner organizations, and the network of schools that we as eKitabu have been working with. And so we invited parents to participate in a survey. After that, we also, in the survey, we had a number of questions that we were asking to try and find out what are these parents doing and what are they doing differently. And so we did the survey. After the survey, we had, we vetted from the feedback we got from the survey. We looked at the different ways or the unique ways each of these parents were doing the support of the learners. After the survey, we also had interviews where we were calling each of those parents to find out more information about what they wrote as what they have been doing. Apart from that, also we tried to contact the schools that these parents are supporting in terms of where their learners are attending, and to find out what are these extra, what are these other innovations in which these parents are supporting these learners. And so those are the main three steps in which we took to try and identify the winners for this year's FOYA award. Just to mention, after all this, we had a rubric where, based on these questions that we were asking, we designed a rubric where we came up with a good rubric to be able to award points for each of those parents. And so from the rubric, we were able to really try and rank the candidates who participated. And I am very grateful that we had a number of parents who came up to participate. This year we had 50 participants from 31 schools all over. And then we had, compared to what we had last year as the number of participants who are 29 from 5 schools. So from here, we as a team said we are going to award 9 nominees from these 50, and we will be having a list of 6 finalists from the group who are getting awards as finalists. We also have other 3 awards for the top 3 winners. And so for all the parents who participated, it's congratulations. Thank you very much for embracing and coming up, raising your hand up to participate in the process of FOYA 2021. For the finalists and winners, Pongezi, who are going to be recognized, I take this opportunity to say Pongezi. So I take back to Lillian, who will give us the list of the winners for this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. And as we announce the winners, we'll be inviting our speakers to give a brief congratulations to the winners and a brief speech in line with the work they do and introduction for themselves and the organizations they work with. So I know we will be slightly over time. Kindly bear with us because the conversation has been very intriguing and we don't want to leave any stone unturned. We thank you, the parents that are having questions in the chat. For some of the questions, you'll allow us to respond to them in time after because some of them require professional response, especially on the medication and the like. So allow us to take time to respond to the questions on the chat. And then also for the different speakers, kindly be on standby so that you can be able to proceed. And I think after I announce the finalists, Rhoda Kabiti, I hope you're ready to be able to speak to the audience. So as we are excited, our biggest part of this event is to award our parents who have been doing a very good job in supporting the learners. And the finalists for 2021 Family of the Year Award are, and I will ask my colleague Amon to put them up on the screen. I will read out the names quickly, and then we'll have Rhoda to give our congratulations to them. So we have Agri Wafula, who's a finalist from Kapkoros Primary School Special Unit. Congratulations. We have Joyce Nduta Ndungu from Akon Special Tutorials. Congratulations. We have Jacqueline Award from Kasarani Primary Autism Unit. Congratulations. Then we have Gabriel Nyaga Masharia, who's from Camp Brethren Christian Schools, who's also a finalist. Congratulations. We have Irene Wanjiru from Kasarani Primary School. Congratulations. And finally, we have Jane Bithe Josiah from Gala Secondary School for the Deaf. One thing we have to note is that all finalists in this category will get a 5,000 Kenya shillings gift voucher. They'll get a gift hamper and they'll get a certificate for participating. Congratulations. Rhoda, you can come on to your screen and give a brief speech and as well as a congratulations to the team. We'll probably have 2 minutes for that. Karibu sana.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Welcome.
You can hear me?
Yes.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. I first of all want to, as you have heard, my name is Rhonda. Rhonda Kabiti, Director, Kenya Society for Deaf Children. And I'm happy to have been invited to this forum. I'm so grateful. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the named parents who have won the award 2021. Our work is to work with the parents, and I'm very proud of those parents. And I'm sure they have won because they have taken good care of their children. They have been part and parcel of the life of their children, and they have given their time and their everything to see that their children are well taken care of when at home or even at school. I want to say that, sorry, I've joined late because I've been on another mission with my other people, but I was sure I would join you along the way. I want to say that there are so many challenges that the parents face, and that's why I'm proud of those parents who have won. The parents, especially of the deaf, have so much to learn, especially in sign language. The parents are not able to communicate with their own children, and we've taken it upon ourselves as the Kenya Society for Deaf Children to make sure that the families that have deaf children, at least one or two of their family members is trained in sign language, at least to be able to talk the basics with their children. We've also taken a lot of initiative in trying to see that deaf children in this country, as many as possible, and those who can profit from hearing aids have got them either from donors or from the National Council for Persons with Disability. Elizabeth told you that we need those children to be registered with the National Council for them to be assisted. And I want to tell the parents in this forum, whether the child is deaf, the child is blind, the child has a mental challenge or whichever it is, autism and the like, please register your children with the National Council for Persons with Disability so that we can also be able to come in and help you from the end where we are working. Those who are working with the blind can seriously and easily get the white cane. For us, you can easily get a hearing aid and many other assistant devices so that children can be able to acquire and live as near normal as every other child in this country. Otherwise, I want to repeat, I'm so happy for the parents, for their ones. If there is any question that you need to ask me, because 2 minutes is such a short time, thank you very much. Thank you for the invite. We are straightened at Nacho Plaza, 8th floor on Canberra Road. In case you want to get in touch with us or to know more about Kenya Society for the Deaf and what we do, please get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Rhoda Kabiti, for representing the organization and congratulating the finalists. Now we go to our second runner-up. So, Amon, please. And our second runner-up for the FOYA 2021 is Joyce Ndungwa from Aga Khan Primary School. And she will receive 20,000 cash award, a gift hamper, and a certificate. Let us all celebrate with Joyce Ndungwa. I invite my colleague, I will invite I want to invite Sense International, Richard Mativu, to congratulate our second runners up and also share the work that they do. Thank you. Over to you, Mativu.
Okay. Thank you for this. As you've heard, my name is Richard Mativu, Director, Sense International. So first of all, I do not want to see the lights. from Joyce Ndongwa, who has just won herself some very good things for the amazing work she's been doing as a parent. I think that's something good, and I'm just looking beyond the gift, because the gift is just a token of appreciation for the work that you are expected to be doing, but the fact that you stood out among other parents just to get what you've got, I think that's something which is outstanding. I would encourage you and other parents to continue shining, because we've heard from other parents that were Fola and Duta how challenging and how parents can really do some good work, make good milestones which teachers would have struggled to do. Parents should be the first people who intervene the moment you realize that your child has a disability. Do not say, I'm not an expert. You are the expert by the fact that you are the parent. My work with parents, I think all my career life, I've been working with parents, I can say. So I just that we've been doing in line with parents. The first thing I say, I'm deaf. I became deaf when I was big, so that's why you can see me speaking. So I also have some hands-on experience on challenges that we experience by having some impairments or challenges. Do not be told by someone that impairment is a bad word. Not really. The moment we appreciate that disability has an impairment, then there is an environment. The moment that disability, that impairment interacts with the environment, that's when disability comes in. But for one to have a disability, you must acknowledge something should be impaired. We always emphasize this to avoid some people who have, in a way, diluted the disability movement because of government programs just to benefit more, So our organization has really done some good work with parents. I start off by saying that we are working in some 4 health centers in Garissa and Kwale, which we established, and we are working, the health centers are directly under the counties. These centers are just doing early intervention. We've employed some orthopedics, some therapists, some nurses, and attached to the county government to assist identifying and making referral to those complex disabilities, because one thing unique about Sense International, we focus on disabilities where people avoid to go. That is deaf, blindness, and other complex disabilities. So for this kind of disability, the intervention of the parents cannot be ignored. We must work closely with the parents from the early stages. So for that, we've had some activities. We've also trained parents in tactile sign language and the normal sign language, that is Kenya Sign Language. Because of the nature of the people we work with, when it comes to economic empowerment, the parents have been highly useful. We can't run away from parents because deaf, blindness, complex disability, the child with disability, the youth with that disability might not be able to engage effectively in that economic activity. So we work with the families, the parents, just to ensure that they are able to engage in some economic activity and follow up to make sure that economic activity is benefiting or uplifting the welfare of that child with complex disability. We also have what we call learner support assistance. This is an inclusive education model which we are currently leading. We've already come up with a curriculum that is working closely with Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. We've come up with a curriculum and we're training 100 LSAs, courtesy of KISE, on how to become an LSA, if I can say, because this is a new model. When we think about inclusive education to some extent, some learners need to be supported, not the teacher. We have teacher support assistants, but in our case, we are talking about the learner support assistant, who is supposed to assist that learner participate actively in a class setup. Parents have been part of these LSS, and depending on the severity of that disability, we also have what we call home-based education. We also have a curriculum to that effect. Some learners might better learn when they are homeschooled than having to take them to some schools because of the severity of that disability. So we've come up with some home-based training just to ensure these learners at least get some basic skills and functions so that they can at least be independent at home. So there is a lot to talk about. Maybe just one more because of time. Just to support parents in respect to getting more information on disability. We've come up with 11 resource centers spread in Kenya. Some are attached to schools, some to health centers. These centers, the primary target is the parent. I'm happy eKitabu will be supporting us with some digital materials to be part of the content for these resource hubs. Parents will be able to access some highly accessible materials, learn more on disability and all that. So today, as we appreciate the people are getting the awards, starting with the lady that is Joyce Ngore, I want to say parents play a critical role when you have a child with disability. We've had some heroes today speaking on the challenge they face and the good practices they've been having at home. I'm calling more parents to be champions for your children. Be self-advocates because at the early stages, your child might not take a placard and go to the street soon, fight or advocate for their rights. But the parent is the one who is wearing that shoe. You know where it pinches. When you hear the politicians and the representatives of disability talking, you are the person who should advance your child's rights. You must make sure your child is benefiting from these privileges provided by the programs from the government and from the laws in this country. So keep up the good work. eKitabu, keep this up. I think it's a very good thing. Appreciating parents, working closely with parents and trying to demonstrate good practices from what other families are doing. This should be the spirit that we have as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard, and it is nice working with you and collaborating. Thank you for the support you give to parents also who have learners' disabilities. Next, we will announce our first runners-up, and it will be coming on screen. Thank you very much. And to our first runners-up, we have Catherine Wanjiru from Marion School, Nairobi. Congratulations, Catherine. Her award is going to be 30,000 cash award, a gift hamper, and a certificate. And to congratulate Madam Catherine, we will invite Samuel Katembo from Lona Chasha to give a brief introduction as well as a congratulations to the winner. Karibu, Mr. Samuel Katembo. And congratulations, Catherine.
Thank you for the opportunity, and Catherine, on behalf of Lona Cheshire and the entire disability fraternity, I would like to thank you and also to congratulate you. I hope everybody can see me. Is my video visible?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So we believe as Lona Cheshire in the principle of working with and working for persons with disabilities. And Catherine, I believe you received this award because you exemplify that. And maybe just to relate your situation and that of Lona Cheshire, Catherine, is to say that Lona Cheshire advocates for persons with disabilities to achieve their full potential, and you doing what you do as a parent, doing what you do as a family, we believe you're providing exactly that to the children you're supporting. Specifically, if you look at Lona Cheshire's principles and philosophies, we consider parents as critical partners in our work, and and the fact that you can trust, you can trust and you can believe in the potential of children as parents. It's very important, and we think that we need more parents like you. One of Lona Chesha's key intervention is inclusive education. We believe in children with disabilities, and all children basically accessing education at the nearest school, at the nearest institution that they can get. So we work with some of the most vulnerable children in some of the most remote areas of this world. And our goal is to empower each and every school to be inclusive, to be able to accommodate learners with disabilities. And we strive to empower parents, we strive to empower children, we strive to empower schools to achieve exactly that. So inclusive education is one of the key philosophies that Lona Cheshire rides on. And we want to preach this message to all parents, to all teachers. We work very closely with the government to ensure that that is done. We work closely with parents to try to empower them, knowing that poverty is a major push factor when it comes to disability. So we try to empower parents financially, especially those parents of children in very remote areas, very vulnerable areas. We also work together with the Department of Children's Services, knowing that children with disabilities are also very, very vulnerable to child abuse cases. This has come out repeatedly with the conversations that have been shared with the parents here. We also want to ensure that parents know where to get services. We've heard that one of the panelists has asked that we register our children. Once children with disabilities are registered with the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, they get access to a number of services. They get access to advice, they get access to various items like assistive devices and all that. Lona Cheshire works closely with the National Council, and it also works closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that children with disabilities get access to some of these devices, to get access to especially assistive technologies. Lona Cheshire is trying to move away from the assistive devices notion. We want to go beyond that. We are looking at assistive technology, how technology can be used to empower persons with disabilities, and especially learners with disabilities, to achieve their full potential. And in this case, we've piloted and the Orbit readers, we've piloted various softwares that can help children with disabilities learn in class. We also work with various county governments in terms of county and national government in terms of provision of bursaries to secondary school and vocational training institutes. We work on follow-up on child protection cases. We work together with parents in terms of provision of dignity kits for children. We sometimes support targeted children in terms of medical support and rehabilitative support, because once these problems are addressed with the children, we believe that the children can now access education more comfortably and they can achieve their full potential. Not to take much of our time, as I said earlier, parents do a lot of work with the children, and we want to encourage you as parents. I know there are many parents listening to us here, listening to this conversation, and we want to encourage you to not give up. We want to encourage you to work hard, support these children. Always feel free to ask. We've heard of a key item that I think needs to be highlighted here is the aspect of peer support. Don't be afraid of joining other groups, joining groups of like-minded parents, joining groups of parents who are going through the same issues that you're going through, joining groups of people who are aware and have a professional background in terms of addressing the challenges you're having. These groups and these platforms, the peer support groups, are very important, and they can go a long way into ensuring that that you as a parent are not left alone, isolated. Lona Cheshire supports a number of these parent support groups, especially in the Nyanza area. That is in Migori, Siaya, Kisumu area, and Homa Bay. We have around 50 parent support groups, but these are targeted parent support groups in very remote areas in these particular counties where we bring parents together. So I don't want to take much of the time. Don't forget, Lona Cheshire works mostly around inclusive education. Don't forget around peer support. Don't forget about registering your children. I believe this will go a long way into ensuring that the children achieve their full potential. Thank you very much, and good work to the parents, good work to Ikitabu and the entire organizing committee around the FOYA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for representing Leonard Cheshire so well, and congratulating our first runner-up. So now we are going to announce the grand prize winner. We shall have her name come on screen. Amon, please. Thank you. So our grand prize winner is Mabel Mwachirembe from Kinderville Junior School, and she will go home with 50,000 cash award, a gift hamper, and a certificate. I'm also going to invite Mary from Leonard Cheshire once again to come and congratulate our grand prize winner, and we can move on to the next steps. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, thanks. This is a great honor. Congratulations, Marbel, with a well-deserved honor. There's been so many participants, and you've done very well to get to the top prize. And I know that behind every successful child with a disability is a dedicated mother or father who believed in that child and who put that child in a position that the child could benefit from education. Unfortunately, many parents who live far away and in the remote areas never get the message that children with disabilities have a right to go into education and to get all the other opportunities that other children have. And there were so many people on this whole call who's working tirelessly to support parents, to support people with disabilities in education and beyond. And I say thank you to Ekitabu for this wonderful initiative and for having been a really good partner for us in the Nyanza region. It's been a pleasure to work with you, Ekitabu. You are always so inspirational and so innovative, and you actually don't mind what barriers are in the way. You will make sure that children have access to equipment, to materials, to books. And I think that's how everyone in Kenya should work together to make sure that they hold hands of parents and support parents to believe in their children and to create the opportunity. So from us in Leonard Cheshire, I don't want to repeat what my colleague Sanda has said. We have been happy to go this whole journey with you in around Lake Victoria. Leonard Cheshire has included close to 3,000 children. We've been working in Kenya as an organization already since 2004 and invested a lot in parents and in communities in your great country. And it's an honor for me to speak to you today from South Africa. I'm a technical lead for the work of Leonard Cheshire globally. Thank you very much, and thanks for the invitation.
Thank you, Marie, for your speech, and congratulations, Madam Mabel. I've seen you on chat, and I would ask you to come on screen so that you can give a speech. I know you didn't get a chance to talk during the parent session, but maybe you can give us a brief on your experience in the competition, as well as your experience as a person, as a parent with a learner who has a disability. So welcome and congratulations. There's so many congratulations that are coming up on the chat, and we are looking forward for more of these activities. Also, congratulations to all our other winners. We appreciate the work you're doing equally. And even though we have both finalists and winners and we have participants, we really are looking forward to supporting parents in being able to support the learners at home. So Karibu Mabel, and maybe you can take a minute or two to just give us a speech.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, it looks so nice.
Yes. Karibu.
Honey, I'm so sorry. I'm emotional. I didn't expect to win at all. I didn't have anything planned. This is just a surprise for me. I didn't expect to win, considering all the stories I had from Duta and the other gentleman and all the other parents that maybe I've interacted with, like Kate, who has also supported me. So I really was not expecting at all. And I am really, really humbled. I'm really, really humbled. I know I look a mess and I apologize for that as well. I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have made this mother very proud that all the work that I have done has not been in vain. And that, sorry. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful.
Thank you, Babel, and congratulations. And we are very, very happy for you. At this point, I will invite my colleague, Leah, so that she can proceed with the next agenda item.
Yes, and before we invite our CEO to come and give the vote of thanks, we want to clarify that for the award winners, you will receive your gifts in January. So be patient with us. In January, you will get all your gifts. And now we put our hands together to welcome our CEO so that he can share with us. He can maybe share thank you notes to every one of us and also give us the next steps. Over to you, Will.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you. And congratulations to everyone. Congratulations, Mama Mabel. Well done. So I guess Mabel's surprise at winning, at being a winner, makes me think that my brother Richard's comments when he said what we should focus on is beyond the gift. That's what Brother Mativu said. He said that in this journey, we're focused on learning together. And although there are people here who are being called winners and being called finalists, and I suppose that's largely because, you know, there's a budget. We have a budget for the program. And I can say at least that budget has grown from the first year now to the second one. And when we build a program and when we start on a journey, we generally find a way to grow. And we grow with you. We grow with the people who are here with us. Agre, I appreciated your comments and all the challenges that you shared. Nduta, very interesting, and your energy. I think everybody appreciated the energy that you brought to your daughter's journey and to your journey together. So, Madam Elizabeth, Mwalimu, you're always welcome in Nairobi, and we're glad we can visit you in Mombasa. We always appreciate hearing from you and your ideas and your energy and the duty, the sense of duty that you bring to your work as a teacher and also, as you said, a caregiver. So for me, the most important aspect of this program and what I appreciate in what Michael said, my colleague Michael, what Georgine shared at the start, Leah, Lillian, and others on the call, Susan, Meg. What I appreciate in this project, in this program, is that we are learning about how we can walk together, how we can reach, again, to pick up on some comments that Agre made. Agre mentioned home visits. Agre mentioned shouting in the story he was telling in the church. He was saying that we have to find ways, the way I understood what he said was we have to find ways to cross barriers, even some of the hard barriers of the home and what goes on in the home, the private world that people have. That's a place where there's a lot of good that can happen, and then many things that aren't good. And when we're learning with you, parents, caregivers, and teachers, government colleagues who are on this call too, when we're learning with you about how we can, first of all, reach into the home, how we can reach out of the home with bringing the child, bringing the children, bringing the family into the community. These are the hard dynamics or the mysteries, can I say, that we're trying to understand, trying to dig into in this program. I know many people on this call have deep experience in these areas, and I especially appreciate our colleagues, Marie and Samuel from Leonard Cheshire, and the other colleagues at Leonard Cheshire who have been doing such great work in Western. We learn with you, and for us, this is a learning journey. So I don't want to take too long with my comments. And Leah, I hope maybe you'll help me out with what you said are the next steps, because I'm reflecting on Mabel's tears, her surprise. I'm reflecting on what I heard about from Richard about the importance of going beyond the gift. And for me, that means walking together. So, Leah, can I turn it back to you, and you can tell us maybe what the next steps are? I think you must know better than I do. Would that be okay?
Yes, that's okay, Will. Thank you so much. And I think the next steps are, how do we move beyond the gifts and the awards? And so we shall be reaching out to our parents and having that conversation on how we move beyond here, so that we have some difference in the coming year. So thank you so much for everyone who participated. And I want to now give this back to Amon so that he can lead us into the next steps for a group photo.
Thank you so much, Leah. And once again, congratulations to everyone who participated. Everyone is a winner as long as you participated. So good work to everyone. And we are looking forward to grow this program next year with more people, more parents, and everyone to build this community. So for me, I'll request everyone to put on their video so that we can take a good screenshot. I know it's virtual, but if you can just put on your video, and then maybe you can smile, and then I can be able to get some snapshots. So I'll be checking on that. Everyone to smile. You can put on your videos. Good. You look amazing. Wow. Beautiful faces. For those who have not put on the video, we are still waiting for you. If you're in a position to put, please, wow. I can see we also have in pairs, like in unis, Njigu, we can see 3 people. That is good.
Yes, I invited my parents, I invited my friends.
Yes, good to see you guys.
Thank you, good to hear from you people.
So I think I'm done. Thank you so much, guys. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you, everyone. And now may the grace We can open, we can unmute and say the grace together.
May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ,
May the grace
the
of our
love
Lord
of
Jesus Christ and the love of God and the
And
communion of the
Fellowship
Holy
of the Holy
Spirit be
Spirit
with us
be
now
with
and
us now and
forevermore.
forever.
Amen.
let's wave goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.